What up? Today is October 30th. Today is important because I'm going to finalize some paperwork for a good part in company's first storefront. And I'm documenting it, so I got to talk about it. Now, the reason why I started out saying the date, because if it's one thing I've learned over however many years of doing business, not doing it well, getting a little bit better, and going through this process, is time is directly equivalent to money. One way or another, you're spending one or the other. You got to make up for it on one end with money, or you make up for it with time. Both of those things require patience. Today is the 30th. I had a lease signed in August. I've been writing a business plan, working on a business model for 2 years, writing a business plan for about 8 months. And now I'm finally finalizing the paperwork to get things rolling. A lot of people have been asking me, even my actual, I guess we would call them my associates with the bank and financial people and equipment people and everybody I've been working with so far have been asking me what my opening date is. Now, they've all been through the business process, so they know one thing is contingent upon another. So I don't have an opening date because today is the 30th, and I've been thinking I was going to open last month sometime. But either way, I'm very, very excited. Very grateful. Very, very grateful. I couldn't even sleep last night. Like, I had some real vivid dreams. They were all positive. But I probably woke up about 4 something. I went to bed like 11-ish, like closer to 12. Went to bed. I got up like 4 something, and I just was tossing and turning since then, and got up around 5:35. So I did. You know what I'm saying? I had my clothes laid out like it was the first day of school, because I got to go ahead and bust it up. And it's like, this is not a really intense meeting, but it's a final meeting, and I just want to be on point. I had to travel to get it done. You know, this meeting is not in Baltimore, so I had to take a little trip, come handle some things. And on the way down, one of my associates called me and talked me through some things. Like, knowing people got your back and knowing that you put in the work to get things done is really a fulfilling thing. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, I was reading something or watching an interview, and if I find out who it was, I'll talk about it later. But what they said was something that I've been learning without even, like, that wasn't my aim. But the guy said, become a millionaire. Don't become a millionaire for the money that you're going to make, but for the person that you're going to become. No, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I'm becoming such a different person and going through this journey of building a brand and starting this storefront. Because building a brand is different from running a business, okay? Which leads me to something that I learned a few years ago, and I believe it was Kevin Lyles in the interview. I spend a lot of time watching interviews and reading about improvement, doing business, and all that type of stuff. And this is something that I always felt. I just didn't have words for it. He said, Kevin Lyles, I believe, be about the business of doing business. Okay? People really got that messed up, especially within my community. So being about the business of doing business, it can be shrewd sometimes, but there's a difference between business and all the other stuff you think that going around business. Like, especially when you're creative, you have to take your emotions out of it. You have to quell the romanticism about whatever it is that you are putting forth to the world and execute on business, right? And everybody's not fortunate enough to know how to separate the two, and you better learn if you want to be good at business. So be about the business of doing business. And I've watched and learned. I have 1 or 2 close friends. I want to shout out Craig. He may or may not see this, but I watch him. I talk to him about business and stuff like that too, but I just watch him. He is about the business of doing business for Taste This. I just watch the stuff he do, how committed he is, stuff he doesn't talk about, but I understand. I see what's going on. And I love it because he's my peer. He's somebody that I know in real life that I can be around. And then there are people who have done a lot of more things before me. For example, like when I was younger doing parties in DC, Mark and Tez had to pop him a Club Love and whatever else. And they was partners, and they was just, whatever they was doing like early on, I kind of caught wind of it when they got popular, and it was, oh, these the 2 black guys, they own Club Love, whatever. And me knowing what I knew about parties and party promotion, and then running the bar, hiring bartenders, promoters, building out furniture for clubs and stuff. I was like, yo, they executing. They getting stuff done. It's about the business of doing business. It's about patience. It's about time equals money, and you better value both. And securing relationships, networking better. I had to improve on that. So I just want to share how I'm feeling before I go into this meeting, because it's very funny that, and I'm sure that you may have seen, you may have or will see this eventually at some point. 5 years ago, I had a meeting like this and got straight up deaded on a business proposition that I had, like with some other professional people. And I mean, to the point where they ain't even hit me back and tell me no. I had to call, and then they told me no. And they almost didn't, well, they barely told me why not. But whatever. I learned from that experience. And now I'm here 5 years later, busting moves, documenting it, and sharing it with you guys. I got my City College ring on because it makes me feel proud. You got to put yourself in, like I said, peak mind state, mental state, right? I wear this ring because it gives me pride, right? So it fills me with pride and confidence when I go into these meetings. This green is bold and pops. It's malachite, so it got good energy around it. You know what I'm saying? Google malachite. But it also looks good. I feel like it looks good on my skin. And it's not about being a good luck charm. It's about things that signify positivity and like righteousness and confidence, right? And that's why I put a little good fit on. I got my white shirt on. I don't even button my stuff up to the top, but because I got a beard, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to frame my visage for when I step off in the place. They know they're not dealing with, you know what I'm saying, some regular. This is how I'm stepping out. And I got my J's on, so they know this ain't no really real regular degular. But anyway, wish me luck. Love y'all. I'm gonna follow up on this though. I'm gonna let y'all know what happened afterwards. All right, later. Yeah, so I just wrapped up, signed off on a whole bunch of paperwork. None of it was too tricky. I'm feeling real good. I just called my mom. I let her know that everything is done, everything is official, everything is squared away, and I still don't have an opening date, but I'm super happy. And listen, when I tell you about being in the business of doing business, big corporate buildings, stuff you see in the movies or hear about, they read off all them documents. I feel bad for like NBA players, professional athletes, so many legalities, so much stuff to sign. It make you nervous, you know what I'm saying? But if you know what you're there for, you know what to look out for, you ask questions. The smallest question, like I had a question about subrogation. I don't know what subrogation is. Yo, what's subrogation, my G? Tell me what that is. How does that apply to me, and why am I signing this? The guy was a super square, like square white guy. Kind of annoying because he had all the typical mannerisms. I'm sorry to stereotype, but he did the eye thing, whatever. But he knew his stuff. He was very willing to help. He wasn't supposed to make a emotional connection with me. He was there for me to sign documents. That's what he get paid for. So I did not take it personal. You know what I'm saying? He just here to help me along this path. You know what I mean? So we took care of all that. The office was cool. Had the city views and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make you feel like you're doing something big, I guess. Whatever. There was a time I went and studied to go to law school. It was a recommendation from my counselor in college, where I thought I would have like some super corporate job, basically as a lawyer or litigator, or possibly doing contracts, because I did a lot of writing and stuff like that. And I thought that being in a boardroom with big offices and wearing suits was like my thing. I thought the whole getting dressed up, I thought that's what I really wanted to do. And I realized after a few years, just after college and getting my first corporate casual job, I mean not corporate casual, but my first professional job or whatever, I was like, yeah. After I went and studied for the LSAT and seen like all that it took, and then the work environment, man, that wasn't for me. It ain't that I'm trying to do corporate businesses. That's not what I want to do every day. And being in that place reminded me that that's not what I want to do every day. But I understand it. I understand the high salaries, the power that comes with being able to put certain people in place. You know, pushing papers. You pushing all those papers. Those papers are worth millions of dollars, man. It's a really big deal. But I'm gonna wrap this episode of Here Comes the Good Part up. So the good part is really, really coming 4th now. Like, here we come. Paperwork done. I am stuck and I'm blocked in basically by this truck. I don't know. Don't ask me how. I always pick the wrong parking spaces and the wrong lines in the grocery market. I'll holler at y'all later.